Let's jump to the story from the Associated Press. We got this. FBI arrests Afghan man who officials say planned election day attack in the U.S. This is big news that broke the other day. They say that Nasir Ahmad Tahiri, 27 of Oklahoma City, told investigators after his arrest Monday that he had planned his attack to coincide with Election Day next month and that he and a co-conspirator are expected to die as martyrs, according to charging documents. Tahiri, who arrived in the U.S. in September 2021, had taken steps in recent weeks to advance his attack plans, including by ordering AK-47 rifles, liquidating his family's assets, and buying one-way tickets for his wife and child to travel home to Afghanistan, officials said. Well, we have this tweet from Ken Delanian. This is NBC saying, Scoop, the alleged Afghan terrorist charged this week worked as a security guard for the CIA in Afghanistan. The FBI is investigating whether he was radicalized before or after he came here in 2021 on humanitarian parole, a month after the chaotic U.S. military withdrawal. There are a bunch of conservatives right now who have been screaming since the U.S. started bringing in many individuals from the Middle East that we would be bringing in people who will be radicalized, who have been radicalized, or who are coming here for ill intent. And now they're upset that seemingly it's all been proven right. This guy worked for the CIA to a certain degree. And now they're alleging, I mean, maybe the FBI is wrong, I don't know, that he was planning an election day terror attack.
It's almost like having that he confessed to that was his plan to do an election day terror attack.
Right.
Well, I mean, this is the reality of the Biden administration's immigration policy, which is right after the terrible withdrawal in Afghanistan that cost American service members' lives. They immediately open the doors to mass asylum migration, which I understand asylum is something that we want to do out of compassion. On the other hand, there were a lot of really terrible stories that came out of mass migration. I mean, there were asylum seekers from Afghanistan who were housed on military bases, and the military bases then had higher reports of, I don't know how to say it on YouTube without getting in trouble, but like assaults on children by older men. Yeah. And so there was this reality that we didn't ask them to go through a normal vetting process. Right. And so we now pay for the consequences of that. And I think this is something that we don't answer to enough or not us in this room, but the government doesn't answer to enough. Like, it is one thing to say we want to be compassionate. It's another to say we are going to put our weird sense of debt to another country above the safety of American citizens. And that, unfortunately, as hard as it sounds, is part of a strong vetting process for people who are seeking to enter this country legally, through asylum, whatever the means may be. Like, we have to know who's here.
Yeah, I mean, when we've just completely given up on that, right? Mm-hmm. There are fundamentally two different positions that you can have with respect to immigration policy in America at this point. One exists on a spectrum, one does not. The one that exists on a spectrum is the one that the vast majority of Americans hold, which is there should be some legal process for vetting people who come here. There should be some restrictions on who we let into this country. We should have some idea of who's entering here. We should probably stop terrorists from entering. And then the other position is that's racist and you're mean.
Yeah.
We have to keep the border wide open. It is wrong to make any determination about who does or doesn't enter your country.
Close the border. Close it. And people...
And nobody out either. Stay.
You stay right here, damn it. No.
I don't know. I'm good without, you know.
Yeah, no, leave. No, but seriously though, it is the law of the land. You have to come here legally. It's not racist. Come here legally.
I'll point out in this case that, like, if they were offered asylum, they are legally entering the country. And this is where we have to talk about the consequences of mass legal immigration if we are not going to have a strong vetting process.
If you're coming to my house looking for help, if you come through the back door, you're not looking for help. Why didn't you knock on the front door?
Yeah.
Why are you sneaking through the damn back window? If you coming for help.
Because Joe Biden told them they could.
Exactly. Because you're not coming here for help. You come here because you don't want to come here legally. Mm-hmm. Probably you don't want to pay the money. You don't want to come. You don't want to go through the process, and you're really not seeking asylum.
Exactly. Well,
that's why you're coming. That's why you're trying to come through the damn back door. You know. But people have to come here the right way. It's not racist because you can't do this in any other country. They will deport you too.
Yeah, exactly. Well, you're absolutely correct. And one thing that leftists will do in response to you pointing out that people should come through the legal process is they'll show you an infographic about just how difficult it is to become an American citizen if you want to be an immigrant. All right. Well, excuse me, but I happen to believe that to have the eternal right for all of your descendants to be citizens of the wealthiest, most prosperous, most free country on the planet, you probably should have to jump through a few hoops because we want to vet for people who love this country and will work for it rather than breaking its laws. Like, why is it the worst thing in the world to have a difficult process for people to enter this country?
And also,
don't we want to vet people who love this country? And how do you demonstrate love? By working for something, by sacrificing for something.
And all kinds of countries have strict immigration laws, right? Like there are Asian countries, there are European countries that have language requirements. They have all kinds of things that you have to meet that the American system doesn't. I think one of the realities that they don't really want to talk about is the fact that, like, yes, restricting illegal immigration is incredibly important, but you also have to close these loopholes that governments take advantage of to continue to bring in people to the country without thinking about what the impacts on the country are. I mean, I'm not trying to bring up all of the dogs in Ohio, but when they talk about the Haitian migration to Springfield, Ohio, the first response to the mainstream media is like, well, they have temporary protected status, so it's okay, they're here legally. Well, should they actually have been given temporary protective status, or is this a loophole that the Biden-Harris administration exploited and let people go into a community that is now struggling with increased violence, longer hospital wait times, more crowded schools? Again, like, migration is something that we will always have a long kind of changing conversation on, but I think ultimately the priority should always be the American citizens. And in this case, just like when they withdrew from Afghanistan, the asylum seekers that were brought here were prioritized over the American citizens.
I love it when they argue, oh, no, they aren't illegal immigrants. They're people who just came here illegally, and now we've given them legal status. Therefore, no longer illegal. The thing about this story is that I struggle with it so hard because I want to compliment the FBI and CIA and be like, oh yeah, you guys are really doing a great job keeping us safe, because guess what? I really do believe that. I think there are hard-working men and women who are patriotic at the FBI and CIA. So when I saw this story yesterday, I was like, F yeah, credibility for the FBI going up even more. But then when you see the follow-up tweets or stories to this where it's always just like, oh yeah, and actually there were other informants that were involved, or oh, this was a former employee of the three-letter agency, it's just like, guys, you're killing the credibility. Like, we don't have the full story of this. We're unlikely to ever get the full story of what's going down here. But like, we're seeing so many of these Middle Eastern people here arrested by the CIA and FBI, and then it turns out there's something fishy going on. Maybe the kosher stories just aren't getting out to us, but I don't know. And maybe it could have been somebody who was bad. I think this also speaks to how even when we work hard to try to work with people and foreigners to come to our country for a better life, they struggle to assimilate and they seek vengeance on our people here for one reason or another, and struggle to get along and assimilate into our culture. And it's tragic. Yeah,
I mean, you make a good point about the fact that people will enter illegally and then they'll receive some kind of temporary protection status. And I just had to laugh. You know, Trump said, and I believe it was either Trump or Vance who said that they would deport the migrants who were placed in Ohio, and people were saying, they're legal immigrants, they're legal immigrants. They were given temporary protection status. Temporary. That's not permanent. That temporary doesn't mean you get to live here forever, no questions asked, and we have no legal right to send you back. That's not what temporary means. Temporary means for a limited period of time. But the left is very bad at understanding chronological time as a concept. Like, they think that we are accountable for things that any white person 400 or 500 years ago did, even if we're not descended from those specific people.
Oh, that makes me
Seamus,
I really
700
get
years
nauseous
ago,
when I hear that.
one of your ancestors cracked one of my ancestors over the head with a shillelagh, and
deserved it.
how dare you? I deserve
I
deserve your coat. You got to give
Shouldn't have
me.
been messing around.
I get so,
You know what? It's only fair to give him reparations.
Actually,
so-
as I'm actually part British, I assume it was my ancestor who cracked
Yeah,
your
exactly.
ancestor over the head with a stick.
Well, no, but it's true. I mean, if you want to go back and forth, we can all find ways that some of our ancestors hurt our other ancestors. And the reality is, like, just given human genetic diversity, how many humans were, think about this. There are 7 billion human beings on the planet today, or approaching 8 billion, if I'm not mistaken.
Wow.
That's the largest the world population has ever been at any specific moment in time. There were times where there were millions of people. I mean, our ancestors end up all blending together.
I think
I
you owe
like
me
that
your
you're blending
jacket.
them with your fingers.
You know what?
But they're like all blended together. So to even act like it's this clear cut thing where like your ancestors did this to my ancestors. Like, bro, we both have a lot of ancestors. Do you want to do this? Do you want to go through all of our ancestors?
Our ancestors are long and gone.
That coat is very nice, and I don't have one, and that means you are privileged, and
right.
you have to give it to me.
I get so, you know what? It makes me nauseous. I get so sick of it. And listen, I've had a lot of friends and a lot of people in my family. Y'all don't understand. I literally had to hear this from people all the time, from my own family members and friends and people that I went to school with. We were slaves. We built this. You didn't do a damn thing. Your lazy ass don't even get off the couch. But talking about you built we built that White House. No, you didn't, damn it. You know, but I really get sick and tired of hearing that. It is so annoying.
Well, let me ask you another question.
And people act like slavery started in America, like slavery began in America. Slavery didn't exist before America. Y'all,
It stopped when we stopped it.
It was literally the way of the world. I probably would have owned slaves back in the day.
It still is.
Seriously.
It still is. Let me ask you. If I don't know, the construction crew that built One Freedom Plaza, do the construction workers have equity in that building?
Nope.
Do they own a piece of it? Do they get paid rent, royalties for being people who built it? Is that guy's kid, great grandkid going to be like, it's my people who built that building and it's ours and, we deserve something for it? It's like, look, man, I understand the difference between contract labor and slavery. My point is to make claims to ownership of something or deserving of something for work done by ancestors or because of wrongs done by ancestors you will create an endless cycle of animosity and hatred.
It's true.
That we need to stop to heal.
Because if that's true, damn it, Tim, I built this building we in right now.
No, it's true.
I built that skate park out there. My people did that.
Well, actually, it's true. Terrence was here.
You were here. I actually saw him do it. So he's
my
being
people
serious.
built this table. But this is my table.
I know. It's such an insane and insulting claim because all of the work that every other group did to build this country out gets thrown out. You hear this over and over again. Well, this is a country with an economy that was built on slavery. You're telling me our modern economy is built on the Southern cotton trade from the 1800s?
Right, exactly.
That's nonsense.
No, you're wrong. It is.
I'm sorry. That was racist of me.
Every stock, all old money, all of it just goes back to the
These are people who want things to be handed to them. Mm-hmm. These are people who cannot figure out life. So they go back in time in a place they never lived. Oh, my people built all this, so I should get some of this. That's normally coming from people who just don't want to try to make it in life. They want everything to be handed to them. If you want something, go out there and get it. Go out there and get it. Build it. Stop wasting your money on freaking tattoos and on gold teeth and gold rims. And stop going to the club every damn weekend. And save your money and, build something that you want to build. Quit wasting your damn money. At the end of the day, people waste money. That's
just to make everything as acrimonious and contentious as possible. Thinking of oppressive groups and other groups, I had this really funny idea because I'm a big fan of how the Native Americans handled it in the United States. They got reservations, fought for their legal treaties, and then built a bunch of casinos. They won the right to build casinos. I think it was in the 70s from bingo halls. I think Hard Rock Seminole is the Seminole Casino in Florida was the first one. Then all these tribes were like, yo, we can have legal casinos all over the place. And these people love gambling. Now you've got tribes that are ultra wealthy. Like they're living upscale, upclass. I was just thinking like, what if Gaza built a casino?
Hey, they need to come to the table and we could negotiate out a deal where they get some concessions. But what we didn't see, I think, was the natives consistently terrorize American citizens. And actually, when they did, we'd have very aggressive reprisals against them.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And then one day they were like, hey, let's build casinos. Now, I know in Islam, gambling is forbidden. So I'm kidding, by the way. But my point was simply, what if the resolution... And I'm not saying it's possible in this part of the region, but a part of the world, but we have seen resolutions through commerce, which has resulted in many of these Native American tribes, and not all of them, but many of them are very wealthy now, and they live better than the average American because their tribes set up effective businesses to the best of their abilities and to great effect. Thanks for checking out this clip from Timcast IRL. Make sure to watch the show live Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. Subscribe to this channel, and we will see you all there.